Sometimes administration are the villain. How am I supposed to answer that? Thank God.
How will you rate AUBG from 1 to 10?
Full of these snobs and posh people who have money.
That does not mean I cannot ask you provocative questions, right?
Go ahead.
What do you say to the critics?
I was president of AUBG. That's the only thing that I did.
How would you rate your work?
I cannot say that I did amazing in that position. That's true.
What would you say about the margin ensign?
F, girl, what is this? That's funny.
We're doing nothing basically every week. Top 3 worst professors here that you don't like?
Oh my God, this guy needs to be fired.
All right, Lily.
I know.
Lily. I'm gonna cut it.
I'm not holding back.
Why the prices rise gradually each year?
I actually failed a course.
Lily, I forgot to ask you about AUBG Spotted.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Pause for a second.
Hello, Lily.
Hi, Sabelli.
Thank you for coming here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, there were several reasons why I decided to do so. Firstly, you're SG president.
Yes.
Secondly, you're a senior student.
Very important.
Yes, so you can give many advice, many tips to the upcoming students, to the current students, right?
Yeah.
But firstly, I would want to start with you. Firstly, how are you doing today?
I'm actually doing really good. Might be a bit busy, but I love the thrill of it.
Yeah.
So it keeps me going. So
Yeah.
I'm doing amazing.
That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Which city are you coming from?
I am from Vratsa. So for those who don't know, northern from Sofia, like 120 kilometers away from Sofia. Small town, kind of like Blago, but still Blagoevgrad really made me come out of my shell. So I love it here. Love it.
What about AUBG?
AUBG's.
You're as a representative of the student body.
Yeah.
By the way, it's not an official podcast. You can say whatever you want about AUBG.
Thank God.
Yeah.
No, but interestingly, many people may not agree with me, but I have had an amazing experience here, and it really depends on how you make it and what you decide to make out of it. My main goal, in a way, was to make the most out of those 4 years. I decided not to just come here for lectures, but to make the most of it, really, because also my parents are paying for my education, so I really wanted to make it worth it in a way and to give back to them, of course. So I can say that I've had an amazing experience. Of course, there are drawbacks, as in every other place, university, with people, professors, administration, but overall, as a graduating student, I would definitely come back, and if I'm able, I would give back to the community, because it really, like, there is a tremendous difference in me, I think, from my first year to my senior year. Yeah.
How will you rate AUBG from 1 to 10? 10 being absolute best place in the world, Disney World.
Disney World.
First being, 1 being absolute hell.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, genuinely, of course.
Genuinely, for me personally, I would rate it at I'll rate it pretty high for me, like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying 10 because 10 is, of course, the ultimate Disney World.
Yeah.
It's not Disney World here, of course.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but personally for me, it was an amazing experience, unforgettable, because it's usually always because of the people. I think it's because of the people that I met. I am connecting AUBG to so many great memories and great experience. As an institution, I would say, like, in the world, it wouldn't rank very highly, of course. I would say 6, because I'm feeling generous even. But in the Balkans, in this region, I truly think it's like one of the best places to study.
We'll definitely go back to the AUBG in general, but let's talk for now about student body, especially your work as a president of the SG.
Oh, the student government.
Student government, yes. How long have you been the president?
President, I started my presidency this academic year, so September of 2024. Elections were last academic year, so it was April 2024. Before that, I was vice president for 1 semester because there was a vacancy. So I applied to run for vice president. And from that position, I really got the gist of it, of how student government works, because it's quite different from how clubs operate. And I am very happy and very honored to be president and to be representing the students.
All right.
Yeah.
we have a friendly relationship between us, right?
Yeah, that's
but
true.
That does not mean I cannot ask you provocative questions, right?
Go ahead. I'm prepared.
I've heard opinions that you decided to go for the president just because he wanted to write that in your CV, just to complete your CV.
Yeah. Well,
what do you say to the critics?
Yeah. Well, of course, many people would point fingers and think that when you run for a position that's thought to be of a higher rank, you're doing it for the CV. I would not agree here because, in my opinion, of course, for me, being president of the student government gave me, I think, the most experience out of AUBG actually, that I could have gotten in my 4 years. But I'm proud to say that I have other things on my CV outside of AUBG that really also enhanced me as a person, and I wouldn't go around with my CV and be like, I was president of AUBG, that's the only thing that I did. No, but it really taught me so many things, and I mostly did it because of how I moved throughout the 4 years. Because I was president of a club in my second year, in my third year, and naturally, because I am actually a very ambitious person, naturally I wanted to take more of this. So I decided that one of the few places that I haven't explored here is the student body, the student government.
Yes.
And from being president of other student clubs and from being in the perspective of the students who want money for their clubs and who knows what those clubs need and support, I thought, why not be the change that I wanted to see? Yeah. So that's pretty much why I ran for president.
What are the clubs you're talking about?
So in my second year, I was president of the Broadway Performance Club, which was very challenging, but it taught me so many things as a just starting out student. In my third year, I was president of the Model European Union Club. I was co-president with one more guy, and with Yanni, yes, and I also had a great time there. So it was like kind of
gradually.
Yes, but it was very smooth, I would say. Of course, jumping from being just a club member in my first year of Broadway to being a president, that was really challenging. I struggled a lot, and I cannot say that I did amazing in that position, but we did manage to make a good production, and I am so grateful for the experience that it gave me as a person and how I grew back then.
Going back to the student government, there are a couple months left till you graduate, right? And you're no longer will be a president.
Yeah.
So far, how do you rate your work? Productiveness, efficiency, effectiveness?
I would say that there is always room for improvement. I'm not gonna lie. Last year, we had a great president. Shout out to Alex.
Yeah.
So I had very big shoes to fill. I would say impossible shoes to fill. But I would say that, because I always compare myself to him. He was also a really good friend of mine. But I cannot help to compare to the people, compare myself to the people that came before me. And comparing myself to Alex, we are actually quite different in our presidency. Alex was very, I would say he was very SG oriented, but in a good way. He was a very procedural guy. The
Technical.
Constitution and bylaws, he knew them by heart. He knew everything. And in my presidency, I think I'm more focused on the students and basically interacting with as many people as possible. So I get the most feedback that I can get and kind of make changes. So that's why I always try to push not only the board but the senators as well to listen to the other people and bring those opinions in, like you often do actually, which is amazing because not many people are willing to come to the HG meetings, let's be honest, and bring those opinions forward. So it's really important to listen to the people around. Rating my work, I would say that I'm quite happy with it because I think we're moving we are like right on path with the goals that we create in the beginning of the year. But I really want to emphasize that it's not just me. I was lucky to have an amazing board and an amazing team. Like if it was just me with people that I couldn't communicate with, it would be a disaster. So, yeah.
The reputation of the SG is astonishingly bad, in my opinion. Among the students, what are the reasons for such a fact?
I'm actually interested as well in that, and I don't really have a clear answer here, because of course over the years different things have happened, different problems might have risen, but this year we really wanted to focus, for example, on visibility more, like specifically when it came to the reputation,
like transparency.
Yes, but also for the students to be informed, because we are supposed to be informing the students, right? And I really wanted to have visibility and transparency, of course. SG should be all about transparency. And of course, more social media presence. Last year, this happened with the last presidency. They had a great idea to start making bullet points in the emails of the minutes, because no one was reading the minutes, like 10 pages sometimes. That's too much, of course.
Not even the senators.
Yeah, that's true. So making bullet points, I think, really helped in my opinion. But also, I think it's the lack of trust. I would say kind of like the Bulgarian government situation. It's where there is a lack of communication and trust between students and the student government, which is supposed to represent them. And how are you going to represent students which you don't know and you don't have any contact with? It's impossible. So if we want to represent them properly, we gotta establish some connection with them. I feel like it starts on a personal level. So it's really important, in my opinion, for SG to be to consist of knowledgeable people, but who are also approachable. Someone like people know that you care. People are gonna come to you and they're gonna be like, "You guys suck. Can you guys fix this?" And I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, this is happening because this and this and this. We can fix it, or maybe we can't, but you can go to this person and ask them, because that's their responsibility." And people often mistakes us with a body that's supposed to be fixing every problem in AUBG. We are just students at the end of the day, and sometimes even we forget that. But we're supposed to lobby with administration for the students to have a better life here. And I really think it's this lack of understanding of SG role, which sometimes not only the students miss, but also the senators and the board can miss out on. Lack of communication, lack of trust, lack of participation from the students to go out and vote for the people who represent them, because suddenly you have these people being the board of student government. You didn't even go vote for them, but you are still not going to be happy.
And hate on them.
It's fine to not be happy with the people who are chosen. You might have voted for someone else, but
most of the ways, in most of the cases, it's the best scenario when you're not content with the people governing you. That's the way to change for better.
Yeah, of course. And you will not always see someone who really has the values and qualities that you're looking for in a representative. So that means that you should go out and run for student government office.
What power does SG have?
A very, very big power, very little in both ways, I would say.
Can you explain?
Of course. SG is a very powerful tool when it comes to changing things around the university and how it operates. But it's really important how they do it. For example, sometimes there are problems around the university, and students would initially jump towards petitions, protests, kind of hard power. They forget that as student government, we have soft power. We have the Board of Trustees survey. We just went to New York. We had a meeting with the board, which was all about telling them, hey, the students are not happy with this and this. You guys got to change it, because people will stop coming in here. Because those students will tell them, don't come here. We tell them that. We have 2 more board meetings. I have consistent meetings with the Dean of Students, and we have meetings with almost like every office around here. That's like really in power of changing things. And if the students don't participate actively in telling us, guys, this is not okay, we cannot accurately represent those needs. Because yes, I can speak from my point of view as a student, but I am two specific majors. I'm a senior. In no way I'm representing a random sophomore, right? So it's really important for students to participate, because otherwise our power will be nothing without students.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
You said you're pretty content with the things you've done as a president so far. Let's say what are the achievements of your presidency so far? Can you point them out?
Right. Yeah.
It's hard to tell. I know, but like in general.
Yeah. Well, starting my very first achievement, I would think, was the board that I have and the communication with them. Of course, because we first had the board, then we had the senators, both of which I'm very happy with. So one of the things that I'm happy with is how the team is moving forward. I'm happy to see people who are engaged, people who want to participate in the meetings, who want to change things. So that means that we're moving in a good direction. Other things are, I'm always analyzing my progress with the goals that I set when I was running for president and the goals that we set as student government. So one of the goals that we set me and Mary when we were running for president and VP was to establish like a communication group or a communication channel between the administration and SCAP 3, because it was a really hot topic back then and now as well, of what's going to happen with SCAP 3 and how is this construction going to go, considering that we are full-time students here, we have exams, they cannot be pondering on our head with so much noise. So starting the year, such communication group was established. I'm a student representative there with a senior RA from SCAP 3, and whatever problems the students might have, it comes to us. We communicate with the construction company, with the administration. If there are some major issues, we are in charge of resolving those. So that's one thing. Next thing, that was like one of the biggest things that I wanted to do. It's about a couple of things. It's about the international community here, and it's about Blagoevgrad and how AUBG is perceived by locals. AUBG has been in Blagoevgrad for 30-something years now. And still, locals see us as this enclosed space, a different town full of these snobs and posh people who have money, so far from the truth. And they'll usually just come on the alleys and enjoy the little green areas. And I really wanted to start working towards integrating AUBG more in Blagoevgrad. I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do it. My first initial idea was to first meet with the mayor's office and with Southwest University and start working on something. Thankfully, I feel like this also became, in a way, a mission for AUBG as well. Because just recently, there was an established group with representatives from AUBG, Southwest, and the municipality for us to all to collaborate and exchange experience. Because Southwest, they have amazing sports facilities. We can make use of those. They can make use of our facilities here, like the theater and so on. We can exchange so much, and I feel like for the past 30 years, we were kind of like rivals, which is absolutely comical in my opinion. So more collaboration there, and I really want this to continue working forward, because it's going to be a slow process, but a really important one. Because when I was running for president, I was interviewing people about this, and there were several international students who said that they felt unsafe here. And AUBG is parading to be their second home. How is this a home? If international students are getting harassed on the streets of Blago, for their race or the color of their skin.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely horrible. And for that to be changed, we have to work together with Blago.
Yeah.
Because campus is fine. It's what happens when you go out of the
yeah.
campus. So,
Regarding the international students, right now I believe there are about 75% of the students are Bulgarians or so. So there's, I would say, very little amount of people that are actually international, let's say from the US, from the European countries. There are many Georgians, many Albanians. What would you say about that when people complain about the lack of larger proportion of international students compared to the Bulgarian ones?
I would say it's a valid complaint.
Yeah.
We did discuss that on the board meeting as well. And it's an issue that was also discussed in a recent student leadership meeting. It's very much about, of course, there is not that much of a problem that there are many Bulgarian students. It's about the Bulgarianization of the campus. Because
people speaking in Bulgarian outside of classes.
I am Bulgarian, but I have observed situations in club meetings or in group projects where you have 4 Bulgarians and 1 international student, and naturally Bulgarians would usually switch to Bulgarian and forget that there was an international student. Even if they're Macedonian or Serbian and they might understand some of the language, that doesn't mean that we're allowed to switch to Bulgarian. So if AUBG is planning on and wants to be an international campus, we gotta act like it, because everyone has to feel represented. For us Bulgarians, it's easy because we're in our own country. Everyone speaks Bulgarian.
Yeah, and again, we kind of struggle to feel represented in the real government. Right?
Yeah, that's funny, but it is very true. And I would say that it's an issue, but definitely an issue that, in my opinion, is being worked on, because AUBG is working like really hard to go to events abroad. Even, I think just recently I saw on LinkedIn, President Ensign and the provost, they were in Chicago. They not only met with alumni, but they also met with potential students from there. I think it was a Bulgarian community, but they also met with other students in Chicago for like 12th grade and maybe coming here, which is amazing for more international students to come. Because the beauty, and actually that was the reason why I wanted to come here, is because there were less Bulgarians back then. And I really wanted to get out of my comfort zone and go and talk to people who don't speak my language, who don't share my culture. That's what broadening your perspective means, really.
In 2-3 sentences, what would you say about the Margin Ensign, the current president of the AUBG, US?
Yeah, almost. I would say, I'll give like a very short example. She came right when I was in my second year. So I've been half with the past president, half with the new one. The difference was major when she first came here. She came and things switched like that.
Positively?
Yes, in my opinion. Because before, it looked like AUBG was in this deep slumber, like a sleep. Things were okay, but they've been like okay for 10 years. Maybe not really a progress there. And I feel like she came and she mobilized everyone. It was like, if someone was not doing their job, they had to start doing it now. And for me as a senior, one of the best things that she did was connecting more with alumni, and possibly, maybe this is not happening this year, but definitely next year, giving more opportunities for students to connect with alumni for internship, job opportunities, graduate schools. That's the most important thing, because what am I doing after I graduate here if I have no contacts, right? So I feel like it really moved into a positive direction. It was very drastic. Many people were like, what is going on here? Because we're not used to change, of course, but I feel like gradually we got used to it and we realized that this is a good direction that we're moving towards. So
probably the last question about SG. If a guy or a girl approaches you and says, hey, Lilia, I know you're president of SG, I was considering joining you, SG, next year and next semester.
Yeah.
What would you say? Like, knowing the reputation of SG, that it has no power, like nothing is, we're doing nothing basically every week. So what would you say to this student? Freshman, sophomore, doesn't matter.
They want to join and I like have to convince them? You mean?
You have to answer, not necessarily convince. But
I would say, I would correct you here that we don't have any power. We do.
that's the reputation of
Yes.
SG,
Yeah. So I feel like the only way that people can really understand how SG works is to get into student government. It's really about, I feel like, information and education from the very first year when freshmen come to really connect with them during orientation week and to keep doing that every year so that we attract more students and they're interested in what we do. Because when I was a freshman, I barely knew SG.
Yeah.
In my second year as well, I started learning more about SG when Alex joined, because he was my friend. He was in my friend group, and from him, I started being like really interested.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, what are you doing there? What is this? How are you dealing with this?" So I would encourage everyone to join because, yes, the reputation might be that we don't do much, but I always like to ask, what's the argument behind this? Because of course there are people who claim that, but you know, if you go back and read the minutes and see how engaged the senators were into wanting to change something, so just raising an issue, even if it's an absurd issue that has nothing to do with you, what's important is that they cared and they thought that we can do something. And that's when they come in. And it's the students that gives us the power. So having someone to represent you and you just go to them and be like, please, you really need to fix this, is all that we need, honestly. Just communication between SG and students.
All right.
Yeah.
What are the perks of being SG president? I noticed you're living in Skapto, unlike many other fourth-year
Actually,
students.
that's not even because of SG.
Really?
Yes, because I applied for a room in May and I was on a waiting list and I thought I'm not gonna get it. They texted me late July telling me, okay, a room, like a spot opened up.
Yeah.
But before that, they texted other seniors because I have friends, seniors, who got in before I did. So I actually very much like a Bulgarian, wanted to exercise my power as a president and be like, guys, please give me a room because I gotta be on campus.
And you're still paying for the room right now?
Yeah, of course, of course. I have paid for all 4 years. I didn't have like a scholarship that covered housing, so.
So what are the perks?
Perks?
Going to US for several days?
Yes, but I would say many people are really attracted to president or board of trustees because we go to New York. I would say that these 3 days in New York are so not worth it, all the work that you do throughout the year. Of course, it's nice. New York is amazing, and you get to go and meet all those important people and converse with them. But the responsibility that you carry, you're not just going on a trip.
Yeah.
You are supposed to present a report, you know, the student rep to the board, and me as president, we're supposed to convey thousands of issues that are ongoing to the board, who they're not working in a university. I think none of them do. They're like financial people, very powerful. So we also have to kind of get them on our level and make them look through our eyes as students. Perks was definitely self-improvement for me. For me, this is like a full-time job that is not paid. But it gave me a lot of experience, not only in leadership, but like teamwork, and most importantly, lobbying and talking and conversing with people who are way above you. I mean, in what other university am I allowed to just go and meet with the president of the university?
Yeah, just like that.
Yes.
Open door policy.
Yeah, it's the thing here that really makes us different from the other universities, that people actually listen. If you go for Sofia University, for example, who's gonna listen to you like on such a higher level?
Yeah.
Like rector, decan, and so on, these positions. And students are kind of working on a lower level.
Yeah.
But here they give us a lot of freedom, and that's what makes us eager for more. Yeah.
Have you ever exercised like excess power, like saying, I'm the president here of the UBG, go there, go here?
Well, I sometimes want to do that. It's very tempting. But no, I often do it as a joke.
Yeah.
But
I've noticed, yeah.
yeah, of course. The only times I have done it was kind of when I was trying to sneak myself somewhere that a student was not invited. Like, there was not supposed to be a student rep.
Yeah. Oh, that's not a bad choice.
It's not a bad thing. I think it's the best way and the only way that I should be exercising my power. But I'm like, why isn't the student government invited? There should be a student rep here. Or, well, since I'm the president, I think a student has to be here. So I think that's a way that I have exercised it. Yeah.
Which majors are you?
European Studies and Journalism and Mass Communications.
Yeah. Are you content with your choice?
Very content with my choice. I started with political science as a major, but I kind of switched to European Studies because I loved the program more and the professors. What I don't like is about the European Studies major is kind of understaffed. We have like 2 professors.
Yeah.
Hopefully more are coming, but definitely more variety in courses and professors would be amazing. Yeah.
Do you like the faculty here, professors, and who is your favorite one? Top 3, let's say, top 3.
Top 3, gosh, I do. Okay, first to answer your first question, I do love the faculty. I think I've had like luck with professors, maybe because I have heard crazy stories from friends of mine, bad stories. But with my professors, thankfully, I have had a great experience. Of course, sometimes better than the others, but nothing bad, nothing that stood out to be like, oh my god, this guy needs to be fired. What I like about it is that they're approachable, always open to help. I know that that's not the case with some professors. Thankfully, I haven't had.
Yeah, let's move to the list.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I have to say Professor Phillips.
Yeah.
I've only taken 1 class with him, Introduction to Politics, in my first semester. Remember that class for my whole 4 years. Professor Phillips. Then we'll have to cut the pauses here because I'm really thinking hard.
Of course.
I would say Professor Bernachak, because I've had like 5 classes with her in European Studies, and marketing. Here, that's a draw between Professor Mandrik and Professor Petkov.
Yeah.
Because
I know you're gonna say Mandrik.
Yeah.
That's sure.
I'm not a business person. I did a minor in integrated marketing communications, but I have no interest in business. Only marketing part. Business or economics, no. But these people really make the class interesting. I'm like, whoa, I might actually like business actually. So these people really made it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say top 3 worst professors here that you don't like?
I don't know. I don't have worst professors because, as I said,
all right, Lilia.
I know.
Lilia.
But for me, I didn't have a bad professor. Let me think. I might get something.
Okay.
I have more people for the top, but can I give a bonus for the top and I'll tell you?
All right.
A minus as well. Another top professor, Professor Terziev for literature. The first time I took a class with him, I almost did a minor or a major in literature because of him. So that's an honorable mention.
All right.
Top worst professors. How am I supposed to answer that?
You're graduating.
I want to graduate. If you ask me this question in May,
nothing will happen.
After I get my
podcast.
cap.
Nobody watches it.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Pause for a second, because I gotta think.
All right.
The thing is, I only have gossip about professors who didn't teach me
Yeah.
Because most of my classes were very generic. My European Studies major, as I said, 2 professors. I've taken all my classes with 2 professors that I liked. Marketing, JMC, nothing there. But
You're not giving the names.
I know. I want to give you a name.
Yeah.
But I really want to hate that guy that I'm going to give the name to. Right?
Not necessarily, right?
Yeah.
Like,
something that I didn't enjoy
worst,
in their teaching. Oh, I swear I'm thinking.
All
Don't
right.
think that I'm holding back.
I'm gonna cut it.
I'm not holding back. Oh. I had one. I forgot that I took math. My little nightmare.
Oh wow.
But I took 2 courses in math. One was, I don't even remember the name of the professor. I don't think he teaches here anymore. But he was a young guy. He came from Sofia University, I think. And he was fine at mathematics, I think. He was really nice. He was a sweetheart. But sometimes, accidentally, he used to slip into Bulgarian. For example, he would be talking about some numbers and he'd say 8 instead of the number. But it was I didn't learn a lot in this class.
Yeah.
I asked for my friends to help me with the math.
So rather unexperienced than a best teacher.
Yes. Actually, I think that if there is a problem with professors here, is that some of them just don't have the experience of teaching in that type of a classroom. The thing about the majors that I chose is that there is not much diversification in your choices. In my very, very early years, I took astronomy. Again, don't remember the name of the professor, but it was like fully on Zoom. Cameras were not required. And thank God I liked astronomy, that I kind of learned something. But it was not an engaging class. And I think what differs good professors from bad professors is how engaging they are. Because, again, what makes AUBG different is that you go into a smaller class and the professor actually engages you into participating. So I do like professors who expect you to participate, because I lose attention very quickly, actually. I often daydream a lot, so knowing that I'm expected to answer something is always good.
All right. I have only around 3 questions left.
Okay.
First of the last being, imagine AUBG was a TV show. Who would be the main character and who would be the main villain?
Oh, like the good and the bad guy?
Yeah. You can say yourself or the main character if you want.
I'm trying to be objective, because I have my own perspective as a student. But
I'm asking you,
honestly,
from your perspective.
From my perspective, I feel like it would depend on who watches the show, whether I'm gonna be the villain or the good guy.
From your perspective,
From my perspective, I would like to think of myself as the good guy here.
Yeah, the main character.
Yes. Who's the bad guy? The villain. Sometimes administration are the villain. I've had.
Sabina?
No, not Sabina. Sabina listens to me. Sabina lets me up. I'd say that. If I say administration as a whole, it's again not an accurate answer, because there's so many people who fall under administration, right?
Certain parts of the administration, let's say.
Yeah. Financial people.
All right.
I know that it's really hard. Again, I know nothing about math, number, and finance. But sometimes as an AUBG student, I would complain about rising prices, about any prices around the university, tuition, and so on. And another enemy. Oh, wait, to finish on that one. yeah, sometimes the finance guys, I don't know who's up there, but
Can you
got my eye on you.
Can you quickly explain, from your perspective,
Yeah.
why the prices rise gradually each year? Briefly.
I don't even have the answer. Of course, there was the switch from dollars to euros.
Yes.
That's one thing. Sometimes I really can give a solid reason. I know that there is reasoning behind this, and that's why I would go and ask someone who knows. But it's many switches, so inflation after COVID things. There was this emergency fund after COVID. We got some funds from there, but like rising prices in like generally, I think it's how the world works.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure about the.
You mentioned another villain. Another
Yeah.
villain apart from the financial office.
Sometimes registrar. I am given the wrong advice on some courses, and I fuck it up and waste credits. But there was this really nice lady in registrar that did my whole degree audit and helped me. So she's not my enemy. The rest of them, maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
Second to last question.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a person who is considering applying to AUBG?
Apply, get in. I don't know who's going to be your advisor, but go to a student. Go to a student who is older than you, befriend someone, and if you have questions regarding courses, professors, anything related, go to a student and ask them. Of course, take advice from someone in student services as well, someone who actually works there, but it's usually the student with the best advice. My advisors barely helped me. It was students who led me.
How about the advice to current students, freshmen,
Current
sophomore?
students, make the most of it, honestly, because it's 4 years being here.
Yeah.
Why waste the time? At least like meet people, get out of your comfort zone. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Go to events, participate in clubs, do whatever your mind literally thinks of, but literally squeeze AUBG to the last drop because you paid a lot of money to be here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My last question, which is actually not a question, but rather a statement. Can you say something to your future self in, let's say, 5 years, 10 years? It's up to you.
Yeah.
To your future self.
Anything.
Anything.
I would like to tell myself that no matter how old I am, it's never too late to change something if you're not happy with it. Like, if you think you're stuck in a cycle or in a workplace or with someone that drains you every day and you hate it, just change it. It's YOLO. You only live once.
Yeah.
Like, change it, live the way that you want, and don't overstress, don't overwork. Stop and observe the things around you and the people around you and kind of be grateful for it. Yeah.
Well, words of wisdom here. I want to thank you again, Lily.
Thank you so
Beautiful
much for
podcast.
inviting me.
Thank you very much.
I'm very much looking to the next episode, so stay tuned. Yeah.
See you.
See ya. Something that people don't know about me, and I am brave enough to say it in my last year. I actually failed a course. Yeah, I did.
Which one?
Guess it was the second English course, writing academic research papers.
Really?
Yes. And do you know why I failed it? Because I sent the draft of my paper at the last minute, because I procrastinated and I leave stuff for the last minute, and I sent my highlighted, copy-pasted draft, and it was just like, F, girl, what is this? And I used to be mad at that professor for failing me, but honestly, thank God that he did, because it taught me a lot. It taught me that was the first time that I realized that failing a class doesn't mean that you failed AUBG.
Yeah.
For some people, it sounds crazy. Oh my God, you failed a class? What the fuck? For other people, it's like, you failed a class, so what? We all did it. But for me back then, as a person who was seeking academic validation and good grades, that was like the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. And I'm in my second semester, I'm crying my eyes out. I'm like, I'm done, my GPA is done. But guys, chill.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Because honestly, it even motivated me to be a better student and to be more serious about the work that I do. I sent this paper in the last minute. You don't do that. You send it 5 minutes before the deadline. Yeah.
Lilia, I forgot to ask you about AUBG Spotted.
My favorite.
Yeah. What's going to say about it?
I would say it's a good place to vent for sure. But if you think that someone from administration and someone that actually can make a change is reading that, they're not. I'm glad that student government reads it, like some of us. I read it, you read it. And sometimes we bring issues that were often discussed on AUBG Spotted. That's good. But naturally, if you're not happy with someone or you're getting harassed by someone, you go to the people who are responsible for this. Because sadly, those people don't read AUBG Spotted because they don't have Instagram.
Do you have any idea who might be behind right now?
Actually, I don't. I would like to know. I'm really interested. I cannot even guess the standing that they might have.
Senior, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say senior. I feel like it's definitely passed.
Yeah, of course.
On people that can be trusted.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit 50-50 for me because of course it can be biased. You know, I can choose what I'm gonna post on there and which gossip I post. So it is biased. It's anonymous. People can hate, which I think it's freedom of speech. But then again, be careful what you
hate speech.
Yeah, hate speech is not cool.
Yeah.
So but I would say complain to the right people. Because yes, if you're trying to raise attention to a problem among the students, Spotted is a great place because people read it. It has like visibility. But if you really want to start somewhere, like go to someone who works here and complain to student government, okay? Because we are supposed to be doing something.
Yeah.
And I hope that we are.
Thank you, Lilia.
Yeah, of course.